Hello, everyone. Welcome to our last virtual Bonding Over One book reading. Next week will be in person, and then we'll watch the movie at school. I am here setting up the book fair with our book fair fairy, Stephanie, over there. And does everyone remember what happened on the last chapter or two? No.
Coloring stuff.
Miranda, would you like to come tell? Oh, yes, Yunha.
Last chapter, Harriet tried to befriend Janie in sport and cut off a chunk of I forgot her name's hair.
Is that Marian Hawthorne, maybe?
No, she put a frog in Marion Hawthorne's desk.
Ah, okay. I think
I think it
Miranda
was Laura Peters.
the book I had. Um, yeah. Harriet went on a little bit of a, I don't know, revenge spree because she was very mad about everything going on um with everybody going and making a clubhouse and a spy catching club and all of that going on. And yeah, so she decided to exact revenge and is dealing with all of that. We also learned that Sport's dad just sold a book. So Sport's very happy. And I remember Sport's dad offered to take Harriet out for a celebration dinner, and Sport said no. So it sounds like the parents are finding out what's going on now. And I think things might be getting kind of, dare I say, Harriet.
Pun intended.
Sorry, I apologize. It's been a long day. But we have Miss O'Brien here for the second time reading. She is one of our favorite people ever and a great second grade teacher and cat enthusiast. So, Miss O'Brien, you can take it away.
All right. Thanks for coming, friends. And I'm excited for all the friends that will watch this later. So I will do my best to bring Harriet to life. We're in chapter 15. Okay. When Harriet woke up, it seemed very late in the morning. She had been awakened not by her mother calling, but by an angle of the sun hitting her face. I paused there because I always get confused with angle and angel, so I had to really think about it. Okay, I'm gonna stop less while reading. She sat up straight in bed. She couldn't hear anything from downstairs. She got up quickly, dressed, and ran down, feeling vaguely as though something was wrong. No one was in the dining room. In fact, the table wasn't even set. She ran down to the kitchen, narrowly missing the cook, who dodged aside just in time. Where's my breakfast? Lunch, most likely. What do you mean? It's 12 o'clock. You sure slept a long time. Why didn't you wake me up? I'm late for school, Harriet shouted. Don't yell at me or I'll quit. Your mama said not to wake you up. Where is she? Upstairs. Both of them. I'm in there talking about you. Where? What do you mean? Harriet felt frantic. Up there. Enjoying herself, the cook gestured upstairs in an offhand way. Harriet turned and ran up the stairs. The library door was closed. There was the murmur of a voice coming through the door. She crept closer. Then she heard her father talking on the phone. Well, Dr. Wagner, let me ask you this. Yes, I know she's a very intelligent child. Yes, well, we're well aware that she's a lot of curiosity. Yes, a sign of intelligence. Yes, quite right. I would say so. Now, doctor, the thing is, Yes, I think she just might make a writer. What? Project? Oh, cool. Yes, I think, right? Yes, we'll call the principal. Few days absence? Well, I think that can be arranged. But you're sure, absolutely sure that she's all right? Yes, yes, exceptional. Yes, well, I think we know that. What? Oh, yes. Well, as I explained, she left. But you think? Yes, I see. Well, I think we have her address somewhere. You think it would be a good idea? I see. Yes, I see. Yes. Well, thank you very much, Doctor. You've been a great deal of help. Yes, I understand, and I agree with you. She always listened to her. Yes, a regression. Yes. One more thing, Doctor. You sure? Yes, quite sure. Good. Well, thank you again. Goodbye. Harriet's ears were standing out from her head. Of course, that's me, she thought. Of course, I'm intelligent. He thinks we should mumble a mumble to mumble mumble. Oof. Oh, how irritating. When he wasn't shouting into the phone, her father couldn't be heard. That's a splendid mumble. Mrs. Welch couldn't be heard either. And then the school, a mumble. Perhaps a project which would mumble her to mumble herself, and then this mumble wouldn't dominate, then more attention, of course. But I should call Miss Whitehead and get this mumble started. He's no think, you know. I think we should listen to him. Of course, I think it's all grand. And he says she's not mumble? Mumble? I feel like I missed something with the word mumble. Did I miss something? No? Okay. All right. Not in the least. In fact, quite the mumble. She's an extraordinary mumble and might make a good mumble someday. How infuriating! Just what one dreams will happen. I've always wanted to hear people talk about me, thought Harriet, and now I can't hear it. Suddenly, the doorknob turned. Harriet leaped back, but not quickly enough. She decided to make the best of a bad scene. Boo! She said loudly. Her mother jumped. Good Lord, you frightened me, Harriet. What are you doing there? Were you spying on us? Nope, couldn't hear. Oh, well, it's not because you didn't try. Have you had your breakfast? No. Then run down and get it. You won't be going to school today, dear. I know, I heard that. What else did you hear? Come on, Harriet, out with it. Mrs. Welch closed the door quickly as she heard Mr. Welch say, Hello, Miss Whitehead? Nothing, Harriet said. Honest? Honest. All right, run along then and eat. I have to write a letter. I wonder, thought Harriet, what is up? She was still wondering 2 days later and no wiser. She had had time to catch up on a lot of spy work, but she was surprised to find that on the third day away from school, she was beginning to miss it. She had covered her spy route in the first 2 days, giving ample time to each case, but there really hadn't been much going on. Little Joe Curry was reinstated after he said he was just hungry. This touched the heart of Mama DeSanti. The next day, however, he was caught with a whole ham. Harriet was there when this happened. It was very exciting because not only was he caught stealing the ham, but he was caught at the instant he was giving it to 3 of the happiest looking children anybody ever saw. Harriet wrote in her notebook. That was a scene I'm glad I saw because I would have guessed that Mama DeSanti would have bopped him over the head, but when she saw the children, she burst into tears and commenced wailing and giving the kids everything in sight, even a whole long salami. Then she shooed them away and told them not to come back or she'd call the cops. People are very funny. Also, she didn't fire little Joe. She told him he better see a doctor. He eats too much. Mrs. Plummer was told by her doctor that she could get up. As far as Harriet could see, she hadn't hit the bed since, but flew from one party to the next all day, did chariot work incessantly, and, according to her phone conversations the next day, stayed out half the night too. The Robinsons showed a lot of people their doll. The DeSanti family, other than the incident with little Joe, had had a fairly uneventful week. Fabio was working harder, even harder than Bruno. Franca flunked some test or other and came home in tears. Dino, the baby, got the chicken pox, so Mama DeSanti had to stay at home with him. The most surprising thing was Harrison Withers. Harriet went by expecting to see him moping about his cat. Oh, and there he was, humming and working on a cage in the happiest way possible. She couldn't understand it. He even got up and ate some lunch. He actually made himself a tuna fish sandwich and had a Coke. Harriet leaned back against the wall and wrote, I just can't understand this. Oh, I know. Maybe he didn't have enough money to eat good before because he had to buy all those kidneys. Or maybe he couldn't ever eat tuna and he likes tuna. Maybe the cats always grabbed it. Very plausible. She leaned over the parapet again to study the problem at length. Harrison Withers was humming away, even tapping his foot as he worked. She watched, puzzled, until suddenly he looked up into the direction of the kitchen door. Then he saw it, into the room as though he owned it, to the accompaniment of loud cooing and baby talk from Harrison Withers, walked the tiniest cat Harriet had ever seen. Let's do a impromptu. Hi, Miss Wiggins. Hi. Say hi. Hi, everybody. Surprise, surprise. It's a
Surprise guest. Hi, Joshua.
cat. Visitors. Stuffed animals. It's all in one place. Hey, look at Gianna, so excited. She's like, hey, Miss Wiggins.
Love
Lauren's
it.
still at school? Yes.
Oh, yes.
Joshua's fantastic. So
I
haven't got him.
Cool.
Miranda, you better get a cot. You're just gonna sleep there tonight.
Yeah.
First you can pet the cat. Let him smell your hand first. Like this. Yeah. Sorry. Highly distracted. Let's
It's okay.
get back. When the friends watch this digitally, they're gonna be like, what is happening?
Is
Look at it.
is it a boy or girl?
Willow is a boy.
He smelled my hand.
Okay, that means he likes you. Okay. Oh my gosh, you guys, it's the tiniest cat. Good timing. It was a funny looking little black and white kitten, which had a mustache, which made it look as though it were sneering. It stopped, looked at Harrison Withers as though he were a curiosity, and then walked disdainfully across the room. Harrison Withers watched in adoration. Harriet leaned back and wrote, so that's it. Wonder where he got that cat. I guess if you want a cat, you run into one someplace. Hee hee, they ain't going to change Harrison Withers. And for some reason, as she walked home, Harriet felt unaccountably happy. Harriet is talking about the cat distribution system, friends, which is a beautiful thing. Sometimes cats just show up in your life, and you just have to accept them with open arms. It is called the cat distribution system. In our family, we have gotten 3 cats through the cat distribution system, which I can tell you about at the end of this chapter. You just got to be in the right place at the right time. Or maybe it's my pheromones. I don't know. On the 3rd day, Harriet woke up and found herself really wishing she were going to school. She didn't say anything to her mother, however, because she didn't want to go that much. In the afternoon, she decided to go and see what was happening at the clubhouse. She waited until time for school to be out. Then she went over and crawled over the fence to her post. Rachel came home, bringing Marion Hawthorne with her. They walked sedately, which means steadily, quietly. They walked like old ladies, thought Harriet. Rachel, don't you think it would be nice if we could play bridge in the afternoon? Marion had a kind of cawing voice like a crow. Pretzel for the road. Pretzel for his water bottle's on the counter. Okay. Hi. Sorry. Well, said Rachel, I don't know how. Oh, that's easy. I've watched my mother lots of times, said Marion authoritatively. Why don't we play mahjong? I like that. Well, I think bridge is much chicer. But if you want to, we will. Do you have, it's not Ramsey. Oh, is Ramsey's in his house? Yeah. Oh my gosh, Ramsey's is in his house. Maybe we'll have to like pause and go and like say hi. Okay. Yes, that is, Mother does. Bridge, Mahjong, thought Harriet. Who are they kidding? Wait till Sport hears about this. Beth Ellen arrived. Rachel and Marion nodded curtly in her direction. I think, said Marion, that we should uphold a certain standard in this club. Yes, said Rachel, although she looked as though she hadn't the foggiest idea of what Marion was getting at. Don't you, Beth Allen? Marion asked pointedly. Willow might try to escape. Yes, this came out very small. I mean, I think we have to be very careful who we take in, and, she looked around darkly, who we keep in. Oh, said Beth Allen, you mean like a country club? Yes, said Marion, exactly. I think that anyone who wants to have a social life in the afternoon should be welcome. That is, she added mysteriously, that is if they're the right kind of person. Yes, said Rachel. Yes, whispered Beth Allen. I also think, and I don't know how you feel about this, Marion drew herself up until she looked like her mother. But I feel that in view of the fact that I'm the class officer, I should be president of the club. Well, thought Harriet, it's a good thing for you I'm not in this club, because you'd get it right across the head. Ooh. I therefore nominate myself for president. I second it, said Rachel. And she must second things in her sleep, thought Harriet. Motion carried, screeched Beth Allen in a fit of helpless giggle. Marion frowned Beth Allen into silence. Now that that's settled, I shall make a few decisions. First, I think we should serve tea. My mother isn't going to like that, said Rachel. Well, not really tea, just milk and teacups. We do have to learn, you know. She isn't going to like that either, the cup part. Well, we can each bring our own cup. Second, we have to set up a card table and chairs. Third, she stood up and pointed her finger as though she was knighting them. I make you vice president, Rachel, and you are the secretary treasurer, Beth Allen. What do I have to do? Beth Allen looked terrified. You take minutes, collect the money, and serve the tea. This is sounding familiar, right? Like a lot of organizations. Oh. In other words, thought Harriet, everything. I think we should also discuss people who have the wrong attitude. Marion was liking her job more and more. I think we were all aware at the last meeting of a very strong attitude coming from Sport and Janie. Naturally, you idiot, thought Harriet. Wait till they find out you're president. Just as the others began to arrive from school, a sudden rainstorm drove them into the clubhouse. Harriet watched a minute to see Sport and Janie run across the yard, the last ones to arrive. Then Harriet ran with all her might, but she was still soaked through by the time she got home. Upstairs, when she had pulled off her wet spy clothes and gotten into her bathrobe, she wrote a long account of what she had seen, adding at the end, Marion Hawthorne is too big for her britches. She's going to get it. 3 days later, Harriet was bored to extinction. She had played town all morning in her room, and she was beginning, for the first time in her life, to be bored with her own mind. Yikes. She was just about to throw her notebook across the room when she heard the doorbell ring. She jumped up and ran as fast as she could downstairs. Her mother was at the front of the door taking a special delivery from the postman. What's that? Asked Harriet eagerly. Well, I do believe, said her mother, scrutinizing the letter, that it's a letter for you, Harriet. Her mother smiled at her. From who? Why, I haven't the faintest idea, her mother said casually, and handing Harriet the letter, disappeared into the library. I never get any letters, thought Harriet, and tore open the envelope. She recognized the handwriting at once. I know it's from Dear Harriet, I have been thinking about you, and I have decided that if you are ever going to be a writer, it is time you got cracking. You are 11 years old and haven't written a thing but notes. Make a story out of some of those notes and send it to me. Beauty is truth, truth beauty. That is all. Ye know on earth and all ye need to know. John Keats. And don't ever forget it. Now, in case you ever run into the following problem, I want to tell you about it. Naturally, you put down the truth in your notebooks. What would be the point if you didn't? And naturally, those notebooks should not be read by anyone else. But if they are, then Harriet, you are going to have to do two things, and you don't like either one of them. One, you have to apologize. Two, you have to lie. Otherwise, you are going to lose a friend. Little lies that make people feel better are not bad, like thanking someone for a meal that they made even if you hated it, or telling a sick person they look better when they don't, or someone with a hideous new hat that is lovely. Remember that writing is to put love into the world, not to use it against your friends. But to yourself, you must always tell the truth. Another thing, if you're missing me, I want you to know I'm not missing you. Gone is gone. I never miss anything or anyone because it all becomes a lovely memory. I guard my memories and love them, but I don't get in them and lie down. You can even make stories from yours, but remember, they don't come back. Just think how awful it would be if they did. You don't need me now. You're 11 years old, which is old enough to get busy at growing up to be the person you want to be. No more nonsense. Old Golly Waldenstein. Sound advice. Sound advice. When she finished reading, Harriet had a wide grin on her face. She ran upstairs holding the letter like a treasure found on the beach. She ran into her room, sat at the desk, and read it over twice. Then she took out some clean paper and a pen. She sat holding the pen over the paper. Nothing happened. She referred to her notes. Still, nothing happened. Then she jumped up, ran down to the library, and lugged her father's typewriter up the steps. With a great deal of effort, she hoisted it up onto her desk. The first piece of paper she tried to put in got jammed and too wrinkled to write on. She tore it up and put in another, and then she started to type furiously. Harriet went back to school the next day. It felt like the beginning of term again. She strolled down the empty halls considerably late because she wanted to make a grand entrance. Her mother and father hadn't been there when she got up, so she decided to sneak off to school. Enough is enough, she thought to herself as she was walking past the principal's office. She decided suddenly to make a note of how she felt, so she wedged herself into a little niche usually reserved for a piece of sculpture. Enough is enough. It is time to rise and shine. Wait till the New Yorker gets a load of that story. It was hard making up him finding the cat, but I think I made up a good moral. That is that some people are one way and some people are another, and that's that. The door to the principal's office opened, and Harriet looked up. To her horror, she saw her mother and father walk out. She ducked back into the niche. Maybe, she thought, if I don't breathe, I'll look like a statue. She held her breath, and her mother and father walked past without seeing her. They were laughing and looking at each other, so that even though she rolled her eyes at them, they didn't notice. Boy, wait till she hits that, her father was saying. She'll be, I'm afraid, impossible to live with, her mother said, grinning. You know what, said Mr. Welch, I'll bet she'll do a good job. They went out the front door, and Harriet let out a huge breath. I almost burst, she thought. She scrambled down and ran for her classroom. When she got there, everything was in total confusion because Miss Elson wasn't in the room. Everyone was throwing things at everyone else, including wads of chewing gum, and Marion Hawthorne was at the front of the desk, screeching herself blue for order. This does not sound familiar at all. Nope. No one paid the slightest bit of attention to her, but went on with such chaos that Harriet was able to slip gratefully into her seat unnoticed. At home, she had thought about making some spectacular entrance, perhaps in a funny hat, but when she got to the door, she had been stricken with terror and was now glad she hadn't. She sat there quietly, looking at everyone screaming and running around like nuts. She wrote in her notebook, I am going to write a story about these people. They are just bats. Half of them don't even have a profession. Miss Elson came in and there was instant silence. Everyone trooped to his desk. Sport looked like he would faint when he saw Harriet, and Janie smiled an evil smile at her. No one else seemed to notice. Miss Elson stood up. Well, I'm glad to see that you're back with us, Harriet. She smiled sweetly in Harriet's direction, and 10 necks swiveled like keys, turning in locks. Harriet tried to smile at Miss Elson and glare at the others, but this being impossible, she got an idiotic look on her face. I'm particularly glad, continued Miss Elson, because I have a special announcement to make about a change in school policy. What in the world, thought Harriet, does that have to do with me? You are aware that we have always let you elect your class officers and that the class officer has always automatically been the editor of the 6th grade page. However, we have decided that this is too much work for one person. Marion Hawthorne gasped audibly, and have therefore decided that hereinafter the teacher will select someone else to be editor. We have made this choice on the basis of ability, and looking over all the compositions handed in by the class, Miss Whitehead and I have decided that several of you have a flair for writing and that these few should take turns having the editorship. The selection has been made, and the editor from now on for this half of the year, she paused dramatically and smiled, will be Harriet M. Welsh. You could have heard a pin drop. Harriet stared at Miss Elson in disbelief. They all looked at Miss Elson. No one looked at Harriet. Harriet has been chosen, she continued, for the first half of the year, and Beth Allen for the second half. That means Harriet will write the page for this semester and Beth Allen the next semester. The others will have their chance next year. Beth Allen turned beet red and almost passed out. Harriet looked around her. Everyone was looking around at either her or Beth Allen, which was causing Beth Allen untold embarrassment. There seemed to be a general unease in the room. Miss Elson looked unconcerned, and picking up the textbook, she said, "And now today, children, we have studied." Miss Elson, Marion Hawthorne was on her feet. "I want to register a protest with the school on behalf of a group which I happen to be president of and which, by general agreement, has decided that this decision is unfair to the class, the great majority of which belong—" "Of which, Marion," Miss Elson corrected. "To this club of which I am president. Now, therefore," "That's enough, Marion. Sit down. I think you have made yourself clear. I would like to know when you have had the time, however, to amass this great tide of public opinion. I didn't see you asking anyone after I spoke." Marion sat there, unable to think of a thing. "I think, therefore, pause. No, never mind. Okay. I think, therefore, just to enlighten you as to the opinions of your following, and for no other reason that we should take a vote, I want to make it perfectly clear that the only thing this vote will elicit is talk with Miss Whitehead. I doubt very seriously that it at all possible to change the decision." That did not make sense. "I am sure it is too late, but I do think we might make this an interesting experiment in terms of democracy. It has long been my opinion that one never knows the outcome of a vote, no matter how sure we think we are." That is so relevant, and that is like many years ago. Miranda, did you want to tell me something? You're just putting your hand up. You're just like this. No? Okay.
I wanted to say, fourth graders are actually reading a graphic novel called Act About Democracy Stuff. And
So
vote.
appropriate. And that sentence I just read is so relevant. No one ever knows the outcome of a vote, no matter how sure we think we are.
Very true.
Mm-hmm.
Very true.
Very timely.
Mm-hmm.
Sorry, I got distracted. My phone started to ring, and I was trying to push the go to voicemail button, so I got a little snippy.
You're a girl. Here, Mason.
And Marion seems terribly sure. I think we should see, therefore. Now, I want hands raised on how many want Harriet and Beth Allen to take over for this year. Marion and Rachel clenched their fists firmly to their sides as though they might rise of their own accord. Marion actually sat on hers. Harry and Beth Allen naturally voted for themselves, Harriet's arm flying up like a Nazi salute and Beth Allen's creeping tentatively and trembling as though she were waving. 2 and 2, thought Harriet. Sport's hand went up. He thinks what Marion writes is stupid, thought Harriet. It has nothing to do with being on my side. Janie's hand went up. Same for her, thought Harriet. She just wants to be able to read the paper. Laura Peters, Pinky Whitehead, and the boy with the green socks did not have their hands up. Uh-oh, thought Harriet. That makes 5 to 4. Or have they just not decided? Where is Carrie Andrews? Absent today. Very slowly, in his own particularly creepy way, Pinky Whitehead put his hand up. Well, thought Harriet, I never thought I'd see the day when Pinky Whitehead would save my life. He looked back at her. She gave him a radiant smile and felt like a first-class hypocrite. That, said Miss Elson, decides that. I think we can learn from this, children, and particularly Marion, not to count your eggs before they vote for you. Beth Allen giggled helplessly, then stopped and looked around at everyone as though suddenly aware of her responsibility. The end of chapter 15.
Oh my goodness.
Read chapter 16 too.
Dun dun dun.
You don't know. Stop.
What do you think, Gianna? Did you like it? You're such an avid fan.
You can unmute Gianna.
I liked it, and I like the cat, and it was like, ugh, I like the light. It was cute.
Yeah?
I think it was very cute.
Gianna, have you been to like every reading?
Yeah, not like I missed like 2 or 3.
I don't think you did. But maybe.
I actually have.
I was told that Ramsey Ruse is here, so I have to go see if he's here.
I can't believe that next week is the last chapter and then we get to watch the movie.
You said that this week was the last one.
No.
Mm.
You-
All right.
Good time.
I'll see him. Ramsey Ruse!
I think meeting the pets has been one of best parts.
That's part of
Of-
this whole bonding over one book.
Well,
Yeah.
we're bonding over animals.
Yeah, bonding over one book, also animals.
We don't got any animals here. that
I know Ramses is being shy.
What is
He
this?
comes in and out. Open the window. But you can see Banksy Baby Boo Bear. He's hanging out by the window. Banksy Baby Boo Bear.
Banksy!
Hi.
Oh,
Black and white cat.
so cute.
He's so
Yeah.
cute.
Is
Isn't
this
he?
your house, Miss O'Brien?
I sure hope so. Otherwise, that would be awkward. Yes, sweetie. This is my house. Welcome to it.
Yeah.
Awesome. This is now my house.
I agree.
I love it. Miss Lauren. Oh, hi.
Hi. Oh,
How are you?
Good. We're just taking a tour of the animals, trying to get everyone their FaceTime.
Oh, I know. She was like so excited to see you today.
Oh, it was like a last minute thing. Hi, Lily.
yeah. But thank you so much, Miss O'Brien, for
Oh,
reading.
it was fun.
I appreciate it. I know the kids enjoy it. And
There's
And
Lola.
Kitty
Look,
enjoy it.
I'm gonna spray it, okay? Do black
Lola,
lollipop.
don't have your tushy. They don't want to see your tushy.
Black lollipops.
Oh, it's a cat.
Hi.
Oh,
She's dancing for you. Are
I
we
love
still recording? Because I feel really bad for.
it's
Ah!
recording, but I can cut it.
Okay. Hey,
You're
what's she doing? Where's she going?
so
Is she cute?
She's so cute. She's so cute.
She does her little. Ramsey Rose is here. Okay, last one, guys.
Oh yay!
Hey,
I love it.
He's hungry.
I love it.
And then I'm gonna go through all the things.
I know. I'm mostly just keeping Lauren from doing her job.
No, I love. This is the most I've sat down.
Baby. Hi, say hello.
Hi,
You
Lindsay.
see him?
Hi.
Hi.
Oh my God, he's so cute. Oh.
You want some beer?
Look at all the Ramsey.
So cute.
Outside.
Oh.
He's so happy.
He's a good boy. Yeah. Can you see him?
Yes, he's so cute. What a good boy.
Come on. Phone. And you unplugged mine.
He's a hungry boy.
I feel that right now. Same, Ramses.
All right. I will
Yeah.
let you go, Miss Lauren. Thank you for letting me read and showing you all my cats.
Thank you for being here and reading. And I'm gonna try to get to school at the same time you do tomorrow.
Don't do that. You need to go to sleep.
Yeah, we have so much to put together. Gianna, are you excited for the book fair? Good.
Yeah.
I'm sure Nico is as well. Just to look at the things.
We just did book fair last week. No, we are not excited. No, y'all gonna make me go broke.
I can buy it for you.
Yeah.
I can buy it for me.
You're gonna buy it for me? What do I need for the
For
book fair?
me.
Oh, for you.
We could have had some different things. We don't know. We don't know.
Just saw a ring.
We are very professional at like putting it up. So if I am around to help like close up, we always close up the other school. But I'm always rushing to get Jaden, so I gotta see my schedule.
Yeah. You're good.
We're shopping on Wednesday.
You're shopping Wednesday. I think that's the same day Nico shopping.
Oh, I have that book.
Wait. That was there on my brother's book fair last year.
Yeah. You ready?
They still do. But yeah.
All right.
Okay.
Thank you.
don't
Bye.
eat it.
Tomorrow. We gotta get ready for our meeting.
Oh, there's another one. Why don't you let
Oh, I have that one too.
Yeah.
Did you see the new movie?
No.
What is it called? Yes. The
I-
unicorn movie?
No, I'll have to look out for it.
It was it Netflix?
Yes.
Oh, it's
Thelma the Unicorn.
Thelma and the Unicorn, right?
Thelma the Unicorn. It's super
Yeah.
cute.
It's based off a book. Yeah.
It probably is.
Yeah.
I've never even heard of it. It was super cute. It was a good
Oh.
lesson and it was a cute movie. They did a good job.
Oh, I love it. I have that book. Gianna, if I don't remember to show you, will you remind me?
Yeah.
It's in the classroom. Okay.
Okay.
Cool.
Okay.
But you got write on a post-it because I will forget. Because
No.
after
Well, maybe
after
between me
There's
and
three
you
of us.
and Miss Lauren, we'll all remember.
Okay.
All right.
All right.
Have an awesome night.
Good night.
Good night.
Bye bye.